The Nevis National Commission for UNESCO is really indeed pleased to be involved in this very important project entitled Leveling the Playing Field in the Secondary School Sector. We are one of 4 countries, including Barbados, the BVI, and St. Lucia, to be benefiting from this regional project funded by UNESCO headquarters in Paris through the Fund for Elimination of Doping in Sports. This initiative is being spearheaded by the Caribbean RADA in collaboration with the Ministry of Education and UNESCO. It will help to promote awareness and sensitize especially the physical education teachers and coaches in the secondary schools about the adverse effects of alcohol, drugs, and doping in sports in general. As a major partner in the fight against doping in sports, UNESCO, the World Anti-Doping Agency, as well as RADA, continue to work in harmony at the international, regional, and local levels to combat this plague, which has the potential to inflict irreparable damage to the young minds of our students. Given its mandate in education, and especially its commitment to the fundamental values which underpins physical education and sports, UNESCO is deeply concerned about the erosion of ethics and the gross inequity created by the use of performance enhancement drugs by not only our athletes, but by our very young students.
A drug is a drug is a drug. What we need to understand is the effects that these drugs have on the body. And we certainly need to understand how various prohibited substances and prohibited methods impact athletes. What I have attempted to do in developing this workshop is really to start at the front end and to work with you as PE teachers who are teaching children throughout the secondary school level, forms 1 to 5 or classes 1 to 5, I'm not sure what you call it here. But we need to start from the very base of young people who have tremendous potential to be athletes, to be ambassadors, to be model citizens, to be great representatives for this federation. And I firmly believe that there is a lot of value in prevention education. And this message, or the messages that you're going to hear, because there's a lot of information to be covered today, that you will share it with your peers. You will share it with parents. There's a great need for parent education, because there are a lot of myths prevailing in our Caribbean societies.
At the secondary level, much of the after-school programs are directly or indirectly geared towards student involvement in sport and physical activity. Participation in inter-school activities in athletics, football, cricket, netball, volleyball, and tennis is a direct recruitment tool for this age group for our national teams, and many of you as coaches will attest to this. The Ministry of Education places great importance both on these programs as well as the students' participation in them, since we encourage all-round development. A workshop such as this, therefore, is timely in the development of both sport and physical education in our federation. If we have been following the news, and I know as sports persons you have been, we realize it is also timely in light of the number of athletes who failed drug tests in the past few months and who are now on the sidelines. And so it is very, very important that we pay attention to this anti-doping workshop. We see the need for anti-drug and anti-doping education as an integral part of our investment in our young people. We must ensure that students are equipped with the information to make smart lifestyle choices, which empowers them to reach their full potential. We are aware that often ignorance in this respect is a very dangerous alternative, as it leads both to unacceptable behaviors as well as leaves the individual open to exploitation. And this is where you're coming. We are hoping that the teachers and the people here at this workshop will be the one who pass on the correct information to our students.
Wants to take
we talk about outside this country. That people are accountable for what goes. The whole society going to check out and showing that group tape sideways so they can see anything else in the box.
Normally, when we hear about anti-doping, it's usually at the professional level or the intercollegiate level. I think students in high school think it's okay to do these things because they don't get tested. So if we educate them at an early age, they can start on the right track.
A drug is a drug is a drug, and every drug has side effects. And if you have to look at our kids and the side effects that some of these drugs will have on our kids. I'm looking at future generation, what would happen to them if they can't be kids and them kind of thing, affecting their organs. So for me, that is one of my biggest concerns, having a future generation.
For me, it's just basic awareness, because as we speak to our athletes on a daily basis, what you want to become? I want to be a professional athlete, whether it be a footballer or track and field. So it's just basic awareness.
For me, I think anything that affects the performance of the students or the athletes should be important, and drugs do affect the performance, also the coaching. And so I think it's very important, because the more you know, knowledge is power. So if it's going to affect them positively or negatively, they need to know.
I think also, right, we need to continue the culture of fair play. It's not fair for a lot of athletes who are doing the right thing and practicing the right way, doing the right, everything right, let me say it that way, and then somebody come and cheat and just win. I just think once they're aware, as Mr. Kanye and Mr. Wilkerson said earlier, once they're aware of the program, it will help our students understand that, you know, it's better and fair, better to play fair than to be a cheat, because the consequences that could be detrimental in the long run and in the short run. That's what I'm thinking.
The workshop is very informative. It is very important to the youngsters, the young athletes, the young sports enthusiasts in St. Kitts and Nevis, because it really teaches them the correct use of drugs and what exactly they can't do and they must not do to enhance their performances. I've been in coaching for a long while now. I've been in physical education for a while, and every day, every single day that you are learning new things. And so the workshop is really teaching you how to really get these children to understand that doping is really cheating and not just looking for incentives, getting fame and everything from winning and using performance-enhancing drugs to better their performances. This is so important because it helps me also because as we learned yesterday that everybody needs to know exactly what they put into their bodies, and so we have to definitely teach ourselves first. We have to be aware of it first of all, and then we transfer it to the athletes themselves so that they can be aware of what to use and what not to use.
The workshop has been very informative in that as coaches / PE teachers, we're not really informed of the effects of drugs and athletes. We hear it on the international scene because, of course, we look at the Olympic Games. But in terms of in the school setting and teenagers, we are not being enlightened. We have not been enlightened on those things because I think we should start from that age to inform them because they probably think they are young and it's okay to do whatever they please. But if we teach them now, then later in life, they will not be making those kind of mistakes.
We know definitely that we have some international athletes and we have some athletes, some prospective athletes. And this workshop actually brings about awareness of what the athletes should be looking for as long as they're on the world stage. So it's an awareness. I'm really part of the anti-doping organization. I'm really the chaperone. All right, so it's no stranger to me, so to speak. But then it's really a drive to actually promote anti-doping. It seemed like it was a secret thing in a little corner. And so now we are coming in front from it, because now we're hearing so much athlete being pushed aside because of anti-doping violation. And so this gives a knowledge, a wider knowledge as to basically for the athletes and to the official, the coach, and the whole entourage as to what the sanctions could be and what to actually, as I say, actually to look out for and the prohibited substances. And so, as I say, it's an informative thing, basically.
After the workshop is finished, how do we fit into the framework of anti-doping?
From the Olympic Committee standpoint, I would take it, the advantage we have of this. One of the criticisms we have, we don't do enough public awareness. We don't do enough information generation and sharing, and not enough education. This particular component you're doing, which is a collaboration between the National Olympic Committee, the Regional Anti-Doping Development Organization, the Ministry of Education, is partly to help in that regard. Your teachers and your physical education teachers. One of the challenge I'll put out to you is that you should pass it on to others. One of the other things we don't do very well as teachers and as coaches is we take on too many things for ourselves. I would recommend strongly to you that you take on somebody else, because a lot of the things that coaches end up telling us, I can't concentrate on the technical side and still do all of that. Your athletes who you're training not going to reach very far if somebody not concentrating on that side of it. So I say to you, once in coaching now, there will be teachers in the school who don't necessarily want to do the technical things, but they could do chaperoning, they could just do simple things of just sort of leading people to the various, what do you call them, the various centers on the internet site to say these are the things you shouldn't do. So you need to now begin to get people around you to help you. Because in this day and age, your coaching and so not going to get much further if you're going to limit it to yourself and only the coaches. You have to get chaperones, even family members. And some of you who are involved in the primary school and high school level, there are a number of family members, mothers in particular, who are willing to find a role.
I have to learn better about it. I will not use drugs to perform, because using drugs will be cheating and disrespectful.
This lesson has benefited in telling me that anti-doping is a bad thing and we should not do it in any sport.
I learned that doping should not be done because if you dope, it can end your career and you can also damage some of your major organs like your heart, your lungs, and your liver.
The reason why I would not use drugs in track and field or football is because it could affect my lungs, heart, and liver, and prevent me from playing these sports.
I will encourage others to not use any drugs because it's bad for our health.
I learned that I'm not supposed to dope at all. If I dope and if I'm playing a sport, my career could go fast, like a snap.